This is our 2,000 square foot dream shop that we've built with our own two hands, despite having zero experience, like at all. But like with all good projects, thanks to the help of Google and watching way too many YouTube videos, we've stumbled ourselves to this point of a 40 by 50 dream shop that's 20 feet tall in the backyard of my HOA managed neighborhood. There's been so many hoops we've had to jump through just to get to this point. We got power in the building, we are dried in, we got a massive garage door, but unfortunately we have re-uncovered kind of a big problem. My wife hates bugs. Never a good recipe. So we've done our research and we're gonna make this shop so air sealed tight and also chemically sound. Bugs, not gonna stand a chance. Termites, ants, cockroaches, crickets, you name it. We've created dozens of bug highways throughout this building that, to be honest, most homes, cookie cutter homes around here in North Texas, like the ones we live in, have these same issues, but we're gonna correct it on our dream shop. But we're also gonna pre-treat this building where we're not gonna have to worry about termites at all for the entire lifetime of this building. We're gonna seal this thing up nice and tight today. The first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take care of the bugs that are currently playing around the perimeter of my building. And then we have to clean the exterior of the building. I should have done this a long time ago. Also, this force field tape, which is like your zip system tape, but super cheap. Yeah, it has been on there for a little bit, but yeah, it's completely like disintegrating, so we're gonna have to deal with that as well. Fun! Not ideal. Starting to make sense why zip system costs so much more. Might last a little bit longer. So it dawned on me during this project that everything said on the internet is not necessarily true. Shocker. So when it comes to building things and code requirements, everything's different depending on where you live, and it got difficult to figure out what's actually required in Texas versus the northern states. The best thing I could think of was going to the neighborhoods being built around my home and figure out how are they building their buildings, and if I can replicate that. In theory, it would be up to code. But one thing I did realize is how crappy some of these new builds are just thrown together. So first off, with this flashing. So this is a poly back flashing they put up underneath the brick. That way the water that penetration gets through that brick, through the mortar, is able to run down the building and then out the weep holes. We did the same exact thing on our building using a little bit thicker material, and we actually doubled up the material, but I don't even know what to say about this. This is an absolute mess. I don't know who's buying this house, but those poor souls. This is what they're paying for. The material's been ripped off here, and I guarantee it's not going to cover that up. So when I came to the exterior of the building, it was clear that I needed this poly-backed flashing, but in more and more research I came across a lot of awesome videos how they actually seal this capillary break between the bottom plate and in the concrete foundation. We're gonna run to Home Depot quick and figure out what we can do on a very tight budget to go ahead and seal our bottom plate to the foundation. That way there's no more room for any bugs to enter into the home, because see, look at that. And to be honest, seeing things like this and how new homes are being built these days gave me a lot of confidence. If they're doing this, I can build my own shop and do a better job than this. All right, guys, there's gonna be a right way to do this, and there's gonna be my way of doing it today, because as I'm coming to learn in this building process, the right materials, the name brand materials, are incredibly expensive. And if we're going to be sealing the underside of our OSB on the exterior sheathing, we should probably be going with something like the Zip Systems liquid flashing. However, $51 a tube, we're not gonna go that route, unfortunately. We do have a few alternative ideas we're gonna try out today, starting with quick fix wrap. Also, a whole lot of Dynaflex 230. The ultimate goal today being 100% sealed, no bugs ever. And then also termite pre-treatment, chemical warfare. It's going down. Only time will tell if this is gonna work. quick update on Maui, guys. He's gonna be absolutely humongous, aren't you? Look at these paws. They just keep getting bigger. Mr. Maui. Look at that. Hey, hey, that's my microphone. I need that. Woo! Delivery day. I know we just had the Lone Star Hawaiian Express delivery, but we had a lot just show up. Flowmaster American Thunder, see that in the coming video, not this one. Craftsman Shop Vac, 6.5 horsepower. According to the internet, this is one of the strongest suction vacuums, which we're actually going to need for today's project before we go and spray for bugs. Seat brackets for Mercedes. And this whole video hangs on this box. Some chemicals that are found in nature, but used to pre-treat for termites. Oh yeah. But most importantly, in today's delivery, we just got a fresh box in of Element, who's sponsoring today's video and also helping me stay hydrated always by staying salty. And I've been running low on my favorite flavor, and to be honest, I was getting a little bit nervous I was gonna run out. Let's go. Citrus salt, my #1 by far. Now, Element helps anybody stay hydrated without the added sugars and ingredients found in other sports drinks. I freaking love this stuff. A lot of the work I do on this channel is very physical work. And when I'm doing it, I'm also filming it, and it sucks to fake it on camera when I'm not feeling good. And I've noticed as long as I'm staying hydrated, and Element is a big help with that, I can prevent that electrolyte deficiency or imbalance that causes those headaches, cramps, fatigue, even brain fog and weakness. Each stick pack delivers 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And yes, it is salty. Now, we do have a pretty big issue that I've been trying to strategically hide from you guys. Fortunately, it's got nothing to do with hydration because we're set up with Element, but it has to do with the west side of our building, and it's a driver of why we're doing this bug treatment sealant, using that on the outside of the building, because I took too long to build this dang thing. It's currently about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which means the sun is there, beating down on the west side of my building, and this is something that's been enduring all summer long. This polyback flashing for our brick ledge has taken such a beating. It's gotten incredibly brittle, especially the tape. Look at this. So part of the idea behind using that tape was to add an additional layer onto that flashing that's been deteriorating all summer long in this summer heat. So it's gonna add a third layer as well as sealing everything off from the outside, but we still have to figure out what we're gonna do up under there. But before we figure that out, you guys do me a huge favor here. Go to drinkelement.com/Lone Star. Use my link in description below and you can get a free sample pack with any purchase. And there's no risk to that purchase because if you guys don't like it, they'll return it. No questions asked. Support the brands that support this channel. But as always, stay salty. And it also turned out I had one more roll of this Georgia Pacific force field tape for the sheathing. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna run one small layer just above it to allow that watershed to go up and over so it doesn't have a chance to get behind it. But we do have to figure out, oh gosh, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is from the ants. See, look at this. See how it's completely like broken off? Good morning, guys. It's gonna be a bit of a cleanup this morning, and then we're on to the inside with the bug proofing and the air sealing of our building. It has to deal with our bottom plate. On the bottom side of our wood-studded walls, we have a bottom plate, and underneath that, we have a sill seal. Apparently, this does a decent job sealing out a lot of what we're trying to do here, and also providing a capillary break between the concrete and the wood. But with that, we can always do a little bit better. So what we're gonna do, we have Dynaflex 230, and we're gonna run a bead all the way around the dream shop. That way, if there's any voids or dips in the concrete, it's gonna fill all those in completely. But before we do that, we have a lot of cleanup to do. All right, that took way longer than I thought I was going to, but the shop is at least clean now. That was on my to-do list for a while. Swept up, vacuumed up, all the sawdust from routing out the window location. And now we have Dynaflex 230. We're we're gonna be utilizing on the inside. So we're gonna run a bead between the concrete foundation and this bottom plate to seal this off all the way around the building. We do have somewhat of a hybrid framing system between our metal building frame and our traditional stick-built frame, so there are areas where it transitions from one to another. We're gonna get in behind here and run a thick bead to seal off anything between the metal frame and the wood stick-built frame, so it's sealed off from the outside as well as the inside. And then we can open up this box here, which is gonna be our DIY termite treatment that I think is only available in some states. I ordered it off of Amazon. It's both mold and termite prevention, but you'll have to check the Amazon link in the description to see if you can actually get it shipped to where you are. Guys, I'm so excited with how this building is turning out. And I'm excited to say also we've made some minor changes to the final plans of the exterior of the building, and the city has now approved those changes. So with that, we're trying to track down the right type of brick and exterior facade. So we're gonna give you a little sneak peek of what this thing will look like when it's all said and done. But before then, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, have not joined the Ohana just yet, scroll down, hit the subscribe button below. It's absolutely free. It just makes it more likely you'll see a future update, especially when we begin bricking this massive dream shop to look like this. This thing is gonna look amazing. So scroll down, hit the subscribe button below, join the Ohana. Big thank you, big mahalos. Let's keep working. All right, moment of truth, guys. Oh, geez. May I introduce you to BoraCare. Now, this is gonna take care of both my termite pre-treatment as well as mold. Now, they do sell this just termite pre-treatment only without the mold, but I figure a couple bucks more I might as well. If you're doing this commercially, I believe you have to have a special license to use this, but since this is my own house, my own shop, essentially this container is gonna make 6 gallons. We're gonna have some extra. Get it done now, get it done right. All right, spent the last 5 minutes mixing up that mess. It turns out you get very sweaty in a ghillie suit. As far as the equipment we're using, nothing special. 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's, typical trash can from Lowe's, just a regular 2-gallon ortho sprayer. So I have to refill that a couple times to do this entire shop. A mixing paddle on the power drill. So nothing fancy here. Got my ghillie suit, got my element. We're gonna suit up again. It's time to spray. Woo! Game on. All right, so I'm going up to about 4 feet on the spray for the first round. I just got a feeling I'm gonna have a lot of extra product. From my understanding, the borates, which is the termite treatment, is actually not toxic for humans. It's a naturally occurring mineral, but the biocides that are included in the mold prevention, that's what apparently is a little bit iffy. And we're gonna spray everywhere that's gonna be behind a finished wall, which will be eventually drywall. And any termite that tries to take a bite of my wood, that sounds weird, they die. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a lot of extra product. This stuff goes pretty far, and because we're gonna have so much extra product, we're gonna go ahead and go up probably to 6 feet, and then also do a second round all the way towards the bottom. I just don't know what else to do with all the extra product. So complete termite pre-treatment as well as bug and air sealing all the way around our 2,000 square foot dream shop for less than 200 bucks. Not a bad deal. But as you guys should figure out by now, I am not a professional, and no, I do not know what I'm doing. So take these words as you will. This is not a how-to. This is a, hey, watch this Hawaiian text and try to figure this stuff out himself. Well, needless to say, I think I lost probably about 10 pounds of water weight today. But pre-treatment is done. These studs are soaked. Once they dry up, that boric hair, any termite that might take a little nibble of any of these studs are immediately going to die, and we're never gonna have an issue for the lifetime of this building. In addition, since we did have so much extra product, I did a second entire layer and actually treated up all the way till about 8 feet. So as the theme goes with this building, overbuilt and over-treated and over-sweating. So over-sweating. And we're gonna let this stuff really dry in and kind of seal up. I don't want my dog, I don't want my kids in here, anybody, until that dries up completely. With that said, I'm getting out of this ghillie suit. We'll see you guys in a second. Closed cell foam for pests. Are you digging? You're digging, aren't you? Are you hiding a hole? What's that right there? The joys of a puppy. So I think my solution here that's gonna be very budget friendly is some simple pest blocks. So this is a closed cell foam and should fill the void behind all of this. And at 10 bucks a can, should be able to knock this out for about 30 bucks. Now we've sealed out the top side, so any water, anything coming down has no chance of getting up and under this OSB, but underneath the flashing, the chance that there's a void in here on the back side that potentially bugs or whatever could get up underneath. The goal with this is to seal that off so there's no chance of that. Maui, stop eating my camera. I love this shop, guys. 2,000 square feet of hopes and dreams all coming to a reality. One stick, one board, one can of spray foam at a time. And the fact that we've been able to do so much of this with our own 2 hands just makes it feel so much more of a special spot. And also, if anything goes wrong down the line, I have only one person to blame. And it's me. But we got a lot checked off of the to-do list today, guys, and my wife is going to be incredibly happy with it. So we're fully bug treated, termite pre-treatment on the inside. We're completely sealed off on the bottom from the inside, and also the outside so no critters can crawl their way in. You still have a few things to button up towards the top end, which I'm gonna do off camera. But one of the concerns in the previous videos involving our soffit vents, a lot of concerns that hornets and wasps will find a way in through our soffit vents and have a little party. But fortunately, these soffit vents actually have a pre-installed bug screen on the inside. The other concern with these vents was the fact that this roof won't be able to vent because of my metal purlins running in this direction. But fortunately for me, we have our 2x4 studded wall coming all the way here to the ceiling. Our 2x4s running perpendicular to our metal purlins running the length of the building. At the final build, or the final finish of this building, we're gonna have drywall installed on this side of these 2x4s to that point. So there will be an 1.5 inch gap between our drywall and our metal purlins. And then the soffit vents that we did install actually do have the ability to vent. Check that out. There's our soffit vent. So we'll be able to vent on the underside of our drywall. We have a lot to do on the finish out of this building, but I love this space, guys. We have another project we're gonna be revealing to you guys in our next video that, to be honest, wasn't planning on. It was a big investment, but my wife's stoked about it. So be sure you're subscribed so you'll miss that update. Until that day comes, as always, y'all take care. Ahui ho. Aloha.